I was just reading your text. I think you're still typing. Wrong. Oh, God, I didn't mean to put that one. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I didn't mean to laugh at that. That's not funny. No. Okay. I see. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Because that's valid. That's valid. Okay. Good question. Yeah, because so remind me again. So we established, this is what I remember, that he is interested. It can lead to a real relationship, marriage, stuff like that. It had a lot of stress factors. That it would need, some help, but it would pan out. It can result in that, but I don't think I looked into the reason. You're looking now into the reason, like if it's for a void or if it's right. So, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. So, like I said, with a push, I see that it can pan out because there's a lot of stressors and things. But now you want to know, okay, yeah, it can work out, but why? Like, is it because of this? Is it because of this? Is it because of this? I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, he has his days where he'll do the flowers and the gifts, and then he'll have his days where okay, ex-military, right? Okay. Hey, how are you? So, oh my gosh, you know what I forgot? You got 2 of the 25s, right? So those don't have a name. Those are by question or concern, right? So the first concern, this reading is, let me go back to, I'm very technical, so is he serious about you, or is he too depressed for a relationship, or is he trying to fill a void? Okay, or. So the reason why the relationship, got it. Okay. Okay. So this is what this is all about choice, okay? You got to realize that readings are plugged into timing. Okay? So if a person is 21 and they come to me for a reading and they want to know, you know, what's going to give them stability, and they're not going to see stability till they're 35, there's not a damn thing I'm going to say in that reading that's going to address their immediate life. They're 21. You know? It's not an age thing. It's just if the destiny has a solution at the 35 range, you can't push that where the person is now. So in your case, it's love life. In this phase in your life, you have, without magic, because magic changes results, but timing, you can't erase timing, but you can kind of magnet things in and magnet with a big suckage of magnet, you know, bring things in, push things out. You can resculpt, you can do a lot of things, but you're still not going to erase timing. Right. So at this point in your life, you have love commitment riding in your current horoscope. So at this phase, which is a short phase, that doesn't mean that after this phase is over, there's nothing and that's it. That is not true. This is an opportunity. If you like him and you want a boyfriend who becomes a fiance, who becomes a husband, this is a candidate. He is, why do I say he's a candidate? Because I see he's in love with you in the way that he knows how to be in love, in the best way that he knows how. It's genuine. Is it the, is he your favorite type of guy? Probably not. Is he your favorite style and your favorite, maybe not, because Leos and Aries, they're very interesting together. They understand each other, but it's not one of those like, yeah, it's an acquired taste, it's an acquired taste. It's something that you have to go after, and with the effort that you put, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Let's go to Antoine the Taurus. I saw that you put such, right? Isn't that your ex-boyfriend, the Puerto Rican? I get names confused, but anyway, I go by signs, the Taurus. With the amount of effort that you put into him, with the amount of effort you put into the Scorpio, Angel, okay, I'm so sorry. I told you I suck at names, but I'm good with signs. With the amount of effort you put into the Taurus and the amount of effort you put into the Scorpio at one point, and so on and so forth, you were drained. Even the other Taurus, which wasn't a thing, but it was like a thing. You put so much of your mind, your soul into those people, and you never got a result. Anthony. Yes, all of them. I mean, there's other examples, but it was, and I was a witness. I was a witness because I read for you during those times and I saw the heaviness of it. It was draining. What I'm trying to tell you is the level of effort that you put in all those people, I never told you that the result was going to be good. I always told you the other one was never going to do that and it wasn't all right. The other one I told you, he's not it. He's not going to commit to you. I told you, I've said it, even the tattoo guy, the Virgo. This person will. So If you're looking for a spouse and you're looking for someone that is genuinely in love with you, this is a candidate that will give you that path. I see that financially you can grow together. I see that there's a lot of positives. I see that this is one, if you want to put your effort in somebody who's going to give you the ring, give you the words, give you the commitment, this person will give you that result. Is it your favorite? Is it what's the ideal situation? I don't know, because you tend to romanticize a lot of things, which that's not wrong, but you tend to, like, you know, be very creative with your there's nothing wrong with that. Please don't think that I'm saying anything critical. I think it's beautiful. It's very artistic that I think everyone at some point does that, you know, but you can't live in your head. You know, at some point you just got to take things super realistic, and you have a very romantic, like, whimsical way of envisioning things, right? Very dreamy, very pretty, and that's beautiful. So you gotta sometimes look at things realistic. Do you want the result of a man saying to you, yes, let's do this, let's commit, I'm in love with you, you know, let's do this officially, this is it, I'm here, this is it? Yes. Are there pros and cons? Everything has pros and cons. Everything and everyone has pros and cons. Jobs, interviews. Some things have very tiny cons, like almost nothing. Sometimes the con with a good guy is just a sucky mother-in-law. Sometimes the cons are huge. You got to weigh it out. If you want an opportunity with a guy giving you what you're looking for, as far as the commitment, as far as, you know, being real, this is it. Is he perfect? Nobody's perfect. He has PTSD, so there could be a little bit of darkness there, you know, because obviously that's it. That's a trauma. He drinks. That's not okay. But, you know, that's something that I'm sure he wants to get rid of. So, you know, it was something that would be something that you both, you know, help each other there. You know, do you need the responsibility of dealing with someone who's a lush? Hopefully he's not a lush. Hopefully he just drinks for a bit. Yeah. That's not okay. Some people hold their liquor. I read for you know, a person that they have a winery. Well, I read for another person that has a series of restaurants and bars, and they heavy drink, and they don't hold it very well. There are people that deal with it well, and some people don't. If it's an issue and affecting him big time, then it's a problem. But if it's not at that level yet, you know, you don't need that responsibility. You don't need that headache, but maybe it's not a headache. Because I see that I'm seeing that he's a good choice for you, but I'm seeing that he may not check off all the boxes of your ideal man, of what you ideally want with a magic wand. Like if you were to request one made just for you, he has to have this and this. He's missing a lot of boxes. You know, you know, there are things where, you know, unless you learn to bond and connect with the decision, because see, your head is, you know, what allows connection and what doesn't allow connection. Your mind, your thoughts, your consciousness, right? So if you open yourself and say, you know what, this seems good, and you go for it, then you're going to see the positive. But if you go against it and you feel, no, I'm going to listen to my gut, there's something about it, then, you know, you're going to have difficulty. Right. So I do see that part of you wraps your head around this guy. I do see that part of you is like, yeah, this can work. But then you also say to yourself, I don't know. I see things I don't like. There are flags. Everything, not everything, but like there are flags, but not flags that mean, oh my God, run, run. I'm not saying that. The flags that are obvious, he has a kid. Ideally, a guy with a kid is not ideal for you because, but people are get into different brackets of age ranges and dating options, and we've spoken about that before. Ideally, it's a very romantic guy that you're looking for, who's very happy and very loves the things you love, and kind of like what you thought you had when you were 18. If you think about it, if you could go back to your 18 self, or maybe 19, because it took a little while for you to really set root, it was what you hoped that would be at the highest level. And even then, that situation back then, had its flags and things. But ideally, what you were like on air, like when something has you on air, like that beautiful feeling of, oh my God, it's amazing. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that aha moment. You're looking for someone who looks handsome. You're looking for someone who has a good career, who jives with you at your energy, loves the things you love, has a good sense of humor. Yeah, and connects with you at a dreamy, lovey-dovey way, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Right, that makes your heart flutter, the in love, the excitement, and all those things. And it's, ideally, you want somebody like that. You want somebody that makes you, grips you in the feels in the way that nobody else does. You want somebody to love you back, like to see that you're loved back in that way. You want to, you want somebody that, ideally doesn't, like I said, doesn't really have kids and wants to experience that with you. You want somebody of a good age range to your age. I think pretty much it's that magical feeling. It's that, romantic up in the air feeling that, that you want. And you can have some of that with this guy, but not all the time. So he is a double Leo. And the way that, so he has a kid, he has baggage, which, I think you could go over that hurdle, because I do see that one of the things in the last read, there was an issue with family with him. And that was going to be a big problem. So maybe it's the son doesn't like you, maybe it's the ex, maybe it's, we talked about that. Maybe it's the in-laws, maybe it's, whatever. But there would be issues, lots of issues with that. And so there's that. He drinks, he has PTSD. He talks a lot about aviation, right? A lot of things he's into are boring, right? He seems disconnected and detached, and sometimes he says beautiful things, and you're confused because you see this guy, he looks good, he articulates well, he gives you gifts, he's saying really romantic things like, house, apartment, shopping together, saying really pretty things to you. And at the same time, then there's behaviors that don't mix with that. So your brain's going, wait a minute. Could I really believe? Could he really be like that? Could it really be a thing? Well, wait, then there's this. I don't get it. And then he'll say something really pretty and you're like, wait a minute, what? So what direction? And then you're waiting for that flutter. Yeah, you're waiting for that flutter and you're like, could I? No. And then at the same time, you ask about the Pisces a lot. So in a way, you have never really, let's be honest, You've never really given the Leo what he deserves, because let's go back. I don't get upset at me. Just look at this critically, okay? You meet the Taurus and you were like, oh, buttery, buttery. And you meet the, you know, the Pisces and, you know, all this stuff and like, ooh, here we go, la, la, la. And then you meet the Leo and you're like, I don't know, I guess. You've never given him that like, ooh, you know, and he has to you. So right there, that's not fair in a spiritual way, because he's given you that and you've been like, I don't know, I guess, maybe. Okay, I will. Okay, it's cool. Okay, I don't know. And you're not, yeah. And that's not fair to him, you know, because he's there with you. And yet the guys that were giving you other, you know, intentions, like, I'm just gonna have a fling. You'd be like, oh, you know, my God. And then they'd be like, And then this one doesn't do that. So in a sense, okay, that's also difficult. Yeah, that's also very difficult. Yeah. Okay, so he's very so if he's the FB, that means that he's very attractive to the point where you find that he looks like a player. Am I understanding that correctly? In FB, in my understanding, is when a guy fits that mold, he's one of those like eye candy, so to the point where he looks fake. And the woman can be like, oh God, he's high maintenance, I'm not into that, like he's such a jock. Is that what you mean by that? Because that's how I know the term. Because in FB can only be that look that he's got. Okay. Okay, so then you're saying then it's FB in a way where it would just be a physical friend with benefits. Is he gives you the friend with benefits vibes, not the, okay. 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 So there are a lot of things that it sounds like you're, personally, from knowing you, I'm just going to say this, you know, and you be the ultimate judge. It seems like this connection, this love connection, has caught you by surprise. And you don't know how to react. Because all of the people that you've ever crushed on that I'm aware of, you would see them and go, oh my God, he's so cute. And then you'd go into the whole motion of you having a crush. This guy pops into the picture and you're like, what just happened? I don't know how to deal with this, because he spotted you. You didn't really spot him, right? Didn't he spot you first? And he went after you first? Right. So you don't know how to react, because when you saw him, it wasn't like, oh my God. It was like, okay, where'd you come from? And what do you want? So it sounds like you don't really, because part of you is really intrigued and part of you really is in this allure. And then the other part of you is like, well, I don't like this and I don't like this and I'm not sure about that. So you're like halfway in, halfway out. Still though, you're friendly to everybody. Yeah, you didn't go after him. I see he came after you. Yeah, because you say hi to a lot of people. And he decided to just go chase you and go after you. So he's the one that put the effort. Well, like he should. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. And he's still putting the effort. So how I see this situation is the fact that If you look at it like math, not the emotional part, and you want to look at, will this man deliver options to you that you are looking for? Yes. There's either going to be yes or no. Now comes the complicated part, the emotional part. Do you like him? I think that he's going to grow on you. Maybe that's not your ideal thing, because you're the type of person, from what I understand, you don't like the waiting to grow on you. You like immediate. I like this person and it has to sparkle or I'm out. It has to have the sparkle factor. If it doesn't have the sparkle factor from the beginning, I'm out. I don't want to sit and wait. This is different. But is he an option? Yes. Can he be a boyfriend, fiance, husband? Yes. Is he in love with you for real? Yes. Could he make you the happiest in the world? No. Why? Because it feels like you have to adapt to the situation. Is the next person, which I already asked, is the next person that were to come into the picture, if you let this guy go, it's an option. Life has options, okay? In this phase of time I'm looking in, year and a half, 2-year gap, something like that. If you let this guy go, will there be another option within a certain proximity of time in this section? Yes. Will you be bedazzled by him? Yes. Will he make you happy? No. Because he may not want commitment. So you may put yourself in a scenario. It almost sounds like I'm saying, if you don't like him, you're not going to have an option. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. I feel comfortable enough with you, with the readings I've given you through the years, where you know that if I say something, it's not because I'm not pushing you to do anything. I believe it's up to you. I believe that that's what is available for now, until let destiny write a little bit, and then things, oh, wait, another option. And then, okay, wait, well, we got more options. There are more things, but I'm not seeing that you're going to have, because like I've told you before in readings, there was a time we read on the old Christian, and I said to you years ago, you're going to have a bombardment of attention. And you did. You had a lot of, here, there. Did it equal what you wanted? No. But there was a high level attention going on at that time. There's slow times and there's high energy times. I see a medium scale right now. And that's probably because your career is going to be doing some lifting. Yeah, that happens with female Scorpio. Not male, but female. Yeah, definitely. That's always going to be a thing for you because you're a Scorpio rising. Yeah. That's a very common thing. Let's see. So all I'm saying to you is that this guy is different than the other guys, because this guy is in love with you. It can work out. It has issues. It has troubles. It has its quirks. It's the kind of thing that if you want it, you gotta go after it, believe in it, commit to it, and focus. Not asking about the other guy and the other guy, which it's nothing wrong. You're single. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, but it's almost like Ryan's in your head. I mean, probably the other one too, but other people are in your head, not this one too much. So if you want this opportunity, it's kind of like a job offer. Think about love sometimes like a job offer. There's times you're going to have tons of job offers and times where there's not enough employment. And then things pick up again. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the kind of thing that I'm telling you. You're getting a love reading on this guy. I haven't even begun like the tarot part. I've begun the reading, but not the tarot part. I'm already seeing that he really is in love with you and it can really work out, but it has its list of challenges. What are the challenges? We mentioned some before, and the biggest problem is that you're not focused. You're not focused on him 100%. And that's not how you start something. You can't help it, but in a way you can. Right. He is. He's in love with you, yeah. So you have fallen in love in 3 days because I've seen you do it. Don't tell me no, because I'll say you're a liar. I've seen you fall in love in 3 days. You were head over heels. Head over heels. Love knows no boundary. Love knows no boundary. 2 weeks, that's pretty normal, okay? He's intrigued with you. He's feeling it. He sees you. He wants you. So it's okay. Don't judge. Don't be judging love time. You feel it when you feel it. Yeah. So be realistic. I'm a very realistic person. This is a relationship that is at your disposal. It is a true option. It's not perfect. And why it's not perfect is because there are some challenges he comes with, but there's also the way that, you feel about it in the beginning. That's also a challenge. So there's 2 challenges. The first challenge is his framework. He's got PTSD, he drinks, he can have maybe there's like a darker side to his issues that, you'll deal with if you are, you start dating seriously. He's already your boyfriend, right? Because you said that he was your boyfriend, I think, or no? Or he was going to be one. I can't remember. But anyway, there's already a commitment. And what I see is, there's the challenges of his framework of what he comes to the table with. He's got this, he's got that, he's got this. And then there's how you feel about it. You're thinking about the other one. You sometimes think about the other one also. You're not sure about this one. You're interested, but you're not, a foot in, foot out. So there's that problem. There's the Ashley connection problem. And then there's the, him, the Leo, and how he's coming into, into the framework. And those are things that you work through. But one thing you do need to do is connect with this timing. Are you going to do it or are you not? Are you going to travel that path and see where it goes? Then you got to focus. Put your heart into it and be smart with it, but give it a fair shot. You're not giving it a fair shot. I'm not saying fall head over heels. I'm not saying lose control. I'm saying if you want this to result for you, you have a fair shot. And you have it at your disposal. Now you got to give it a fair shot back. You have to plug into the opportunity, not half-ass it. If you don't want that path, there's another option. The other option that's coming right after this one, I don't know all the other ones. I'm saying the one right after this one, you get real smitten over and the guy does not want to commit. So it's heartbreak. Now, after that guy, there might be another great candidate. I'm not sure. You know, we'd have to see. Those are kind of future things, you know. But this reading is not about that. This reading is about the Leo. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and answer the question. I think I've already answered it. Is he trying to fill a void? No. Is he serious about you? Yes. Is he too depressed for a relationship? He's not depressed whatsoever. If you believe he's depressed, you're not reading him right, because he is not depressed. And I'm not saying in a clinical term. Obviously, that term is disclaimer, a mental health diagnostic, term. But I'm using it like when a person is down on the emotional sense. I just have to say that because I don't use medical terms. But I'm just emotional. PTSD does not cause depression. A person so depression is a chemical imbalance, and there may be depression associated with PTSD, but PTSD is its own situation, post-traumatic stress disorder. So it has a trigger, you know? So that does not, a person can be very happy and have PTSD. Now, drinking can cause a downer type of situation. Yes, it can cause bits of being down. He drinks because it's a habit, because it's a vice, because it's addictive. He has an addictive behavior, which has to be tended to. So for PTSD, he can get therapy. And for the drinking, he can, there's therapy and programs for that as well. There's many levels of being a drinker, you know. If it has developed to the point where it's a disease and it's detrimental to the life, he obviously doesn't have it like that. It still has to be addressed. It's not going to be candy coated, but it's not like it's ruining everything for him. He still has a career. He's a functioning father. He works. He dates. He's dating you. He takes you out. It's not like it's such a disease so elevated that he needs to be in rehab for drinking. Okay, but he's got some. Obviously, he makes his own. Financially, he gets compensated maybe for what he did or whatever. He's got some kind of support. Exactly, because of he's probably, is he a Purple Heart? Yeah, there's some, so there's like, all kinds of things. And that doesn't mean that he can't work. There are things where if he felt better, he might be able to, he might get also disability. There's a lot of things that he can have, where he's established. But all I'm saying is, is he exactly your age or a couple of years older, or you're in your early 30s, right? You're like 31 or something? Okay. I'm sure that's not for life. I'm sure that's just for now. Okay, so he's how old? He's 28 and you're how old? 32. Okay, that's pretty good. And he's younger, so he's got a lot of vitality and he's just figuring things out. Sometimes 27, 28, and 29 But really 27, 28 can be a very difficult phase because the moons finish their cycles in the person's life. So it's a very transitional time in a person's life is 27, 28. Especially, for certain signs, but 27, 28 is there's usually a big life change. Either a parent dies if which is very rare because not everybody, that's young to lose a parent, but sometimes it's that, sometimes it's they graduate, sometimes it's they change countries, sometimes not the Saturn return. No. All the lunar cycles complete 27, 28. Yeah. Not Saturn is later. Saturn is later. But anyway, Saturn works at a different interval, but I'm saying it takes 27, 28 years for the moons to go through, the entire wheel. So that's we're talking about the moons. So that's, it's a time of change. Sometimes people change careers. Sometimes they become parents for the first time. Sometimes there's something very deep about 27, 28. It brings a big change, something very epic for the person. So that's good. He's young. He's practically still a baby. He's young, and he's got a lot. He's got a whole life ahead of him. So. Oh, around 28. Okay, yeah. A lot of people get married, a lot of people get divorced, a lot of people become parents, a lot of people move countries. 27, 28 is a time of there's something big changing in the person's life because of the moons. Because it depends on, I'll show you on the wheel. I could show you, hang on. Okay, so let's say, this is the zodiac wheel, okay? Let's say that your moon, let's say like your moon in particular is Cancer. So let me find Cancer. Hang on, I'm reading it backwards. Okay, so let's say it's Cancer. I'm not worried about the degree so much, but let's just place your moon right there. So it's going to change, in years, because it keeps going like, it keeps going all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. And it keeps moving and moving and moving and moving and moving till it gets all the way back. But you got to realize it changes sign every 2.5 days. So it's going to do this and this and this and this and this over and over and over and over and over until it's been every moon. Do you understand? It's gone through all the different phases of all the different signs. And that takes 27 years. You see? So 27 or 28, depending on where you were born, because if you were born in this decan, then by the time it goes all the way around, it's not, if you were born like maybe in the middle, it would be earlier, because this is 30 years. Well, this is like the 29th year. This is the 30th year. It's hard to explain, but I think this gives you like an idea. So there's the actual moon that's 2.5 days, and then there's the moons that are doing every cycle in every phase in every sign is 27, 28 years, depending on where you were born. You know how some people are born at the end of the year, so they have to wait the new school year. Just if you're a November baby or December baby, sometimes they have to wait a year to start kinder. Why? Because they're at the end of that year. Right, so the same thing with the moon, where it lands. If it's in the middle of the decan, it's earlier. Like the earlier in the decan, the earlier, so it would be 27. But if it's almost at the end, you got to wait one more, so it goes to the next year. You see, that's why. And for the moon to have traveled everything like that, it's yeah. Oh, thank you, Corvus. Not a problem, sweetheart. I will do your reading right after. Thank you. All right. So I think now we're going to do the tarot, and we're going to start this part. Okay. Because I was doing the reading, but I was doing it with runes and dice. So yeah, no, it already happened. He's 28. So 27, 28. So no, it already happened. So he's had this, and maybe it's the no working. Not working can also be a big change. Or meeting you, which you can be his future wife. Remember, I said you either meet the person you marry, or you I have to check his chart to see soulmate information if you would like. Just text me his, I don't need the time he was born. That would be awesome. But I need the location and the place. So for example, yeah. So for example, oh, Corvus, did you hear me? Martin? Thank you. Oh, you did. Okay, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I'll be with you right after this reading. It's going to be a little bit though. If you want to if you want to text me on the shop, if you have to go, that way I can text you back and say, okay, I'm ready for yours if you need to go. All right. But you're more than welcome to stay. But what was I saying, Valexian? I'm sorry. I was saying something and now it slipped my mind. What was I saying? I completely slipped my mind. I'm so sorry. I blanked out for a minute. I was saying I did the dice and runes part. What else was I saying about him? Oh, I'm getting some text here. Okay. Oh yeah, the charts. Thank you. Yes. So if you got the his birthday. So what I need is month, day, year, and then I need location. Month, day, year, location. If you don't have the if I sign off, are you guys, I'll go on cellular. If my internet dies, I'm having something rewired right now. I didn't sign off. If the live dies, I'll sign back on cellular, okay guys? Just to let you know. Okay, I need to know where though. If not, it won't work. So that I can look up important stuff for you. I mean, he's your boyfriend. You could be able to ask him, hey, where were you born? How can that be awkward if he's your boyfriend? That's so silly. You could just be like, hey, sweetie, where were you born? I think that's cute. But anyway, no pressure. That's the only way I'm going to be able to. Well, how about you? Okay, here's a suggestion. Have you thought about being really sweet to him? Oh, okay. What did you text him? Because I was going to say, just, hey, thank you so much for taking me out. It was fun. I would have, right? That would have been something interesting. Am I still on? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, and he hasn't answered you? That's okay. Oh, you are very sweet. You are very sweet. Okay, he'll get back to you. He'll get back to you. Okay. I see what you're saying. That's okay. All right, so now we're going to delve into the reading again, and we're going to go back and visit the same type of question because we're going to just go deeper into him. Okay. Okay, here we go. My music went out, guys. I'm sorry. I usually have some music in the background. What was his name again? Eric, right? Was that his name? Eric the Leo? All right, this is bringing up some awkward stuff. Yes, but it's something I'm used to as a love astrologer and a love reader, love tarotist. But okay, we got some awkward territory right here. All right, hang on. All right, get the full story. Okay. Okay, let's talk. No, don't worry about it. Okay, so let's. Okay. Can you hear me, Ashley? Oh my God. Okay. Not you, cat. She says no. Tarot. Meow. Meow. My music stopped. No, that's Veruza. That's Veruza. Okay, here we go. So, when he saw you, you brightened up a whole new world to him. The way that he saw you, this is how the reading begins. It was like, oh, yay. It was really happy. Really, really happy. You brought a lot of joy and excitement to him. You know, kind of like when you saw a person, whatever, and one of your past people, and you're like, oh, okay, you know? So there was that aha moment, and he really felt it. And that is how I see message retracted. And then I see an emoji, and then I see awe. Okay. All right. So the next thing this talks about is the current situation is he's worried about money. So he's been very honest with you, but he's all right, but he's a Leo, a double Leo. And they do care about the money. You probably don't. Aries, they're like, yeah, I like making money. It's important in my career, but you're not like hung up on money. Leo can be very flashy. Not always. That doesn't mean he has to dress like $1 million. A lot of times Leos dress normal. They're not super flashy. Like, let's say there are other signs that dress like super flashy. They can, but like just on the inside, the way that he values things, the way that he looks at things. Like, it's hard to explain, but I think you know what I mean. They have good taste. They really have good taste, and to them it's about the details and things like that. Like you already saw about the flowers, and yeah. So he's worried about it. He doesn't know. Aside from that, it also, can you hear me? I just want to do a mic check on the connection, just in case so I'm not talking to myself. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times they dress comfortable. They don't dress, like Leo men don't always dress flashy, and they don't always, I mean, they can look like $1 million if they have to, but I'm just saying oh, thank you, okay. They have really good taste, and they know that things are, you know, a pizza shop is okay, but I'm sure he wanted something more than that. It was interesting that he chose the pizza shop. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that's cute, you know, but his style is a little bit more than that. His style is, you know, let's see. Okay. Now, the next thing is he's going to be in the future, the near future, is that he's going to be focusing on improving himself. He has goals. Yeah, so that's fine. You got to realize, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the pizza shop because I brought it up for a reason. I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to discuss, you know, anyway, but that's a side note because I have things to say about that. But all in all, I'm just saying that in the present time, he finds himself worried about two things with money. The first one is the overall outlook of his direction of his life. So he is very concerned about his, he's not going to stay jobless, because I already see in the future he's going to be focusing on a goal. Okay, so for sure. And he's thought about school, he's thought about a couple of things. I don't think he would go back to school, but there is something that takes learning and training that I'm just showing that he's goal oriented and he goes after something. So he's not going to stay where he's at. Let's go to the pizza shop. The pizza shop situation was awkward. It wasn't exactly like his favorite place to take you. I still think it's cute. And I think it's awesome that he's flaunting you in a way. Like, that's my girl, and it's early into it because they, the son and the ex is, did they say hello to you at least? Or did they just didn't see them? I'm asking about his ex. Did she say hello and the son, or was it just far away? Okay. Oh, okay. So the kid was having pizza, and so he decided to have pizza. So his kid's having pizza over there, and you're having pizza with him over here. It's still cute because he can still say, me and my girlfriend are having pizza. Yeah, I still think it's cute. So I also feel that his attention at that time was scattered. I do feel that there was a bit of awkwardness to it, because it wasn't like, okay, yeah, I'm here going out. I'm here for her. I'm giving her attention. She's important. I want to do this. But at the same time, he's being pulled away and interrupted things. And being a Leo, he's not going to jump at acting and reacting. Leos take their time. Aries are very first to say, hey, I feel this. I'm here. This is very clear. This is it. But Leos are not. They kind of like to think about things, balance things, and when they're ready and comfortable, then they will. Obviously there's been something like when he came after you, he's, hey, how are you? Like, he can pursue and all of that. But when it comes to like talking, yeah. So did he. I get it. The ideal situation would be a romantic dinner someplace, all attention on you. But remember, he's got, I know that. But it was one of those things where he can either I agree with you in a regular sense. I see that, what you expect is very normal, to have a very high standard of, a really nice place, romance, it's all about you, which he has been in those moments. He has been giving you those connection feelings. But this time it was off. But you got to think too, you are his girlfriend now. So he could be a little more comfortable. That doesn't mean get lazy and sloppy. He's very romantic and he's very early. But there's a couple of things that he's a little more comfortable. Now you could see a little bit more about, he's on the phone because you do realize he has to be committed to, you don't know these details, but I'm sure there's an entire legal reason why there has to be this bonding with the kid. Like there's still something to that you may not know. And this is parent world. Custody, rules, all kinds of things that go on with co-parenting. I know because I read for so many people involved. There's a lot of things and pressures and things where he could either find himself in a situation where he just says to you, I'm sorry, I have to cancel on you. Or he can say, no, 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 you're my girlfriend. I gotta do this stupid shit. It's not stupid shit because that's his kid and he loves his child, but I gotta just be me today. And I'd rather just be with you and we're comfortable and we're cozy and we're getting comfortable. I just gotta do this thing and I want you to understand me. Versus, and I did warn you. I said, Leos will show you they're very much it's about you. Like the sun is shining on you and nobody else exists and it's all about you. And then they take it away. And it's like, hello, hi, can you see me again? You know, and it's like, oh, you're there. I don't see you. Oh, you're a speck of dust. You know, so they do that. They do that. It's part of it. He's available and he's not available. So I'm not making excuses for him. You like who you like, you go in the direction that you want. You know, there will be other options after the one after this one. You know, the one after this one I don't like, but maybe after those. There are options. But this is a good one. It's going to give you the result. And I'm, like I said, I'm not giving excuses, but I am honest. I'm reading his feelings. That's my job. And I'm showing you like exactly what I feel he feels. So, you know, this is, you know, so that pizza situation, I look at it like he could have canceled and says, yeah, I'm busy. Or he could have been like, no, you know, I got to do this, but I also want her in the picture. This is me. This is part of my life. These are part of my, you know, duties and things I have to do, my responsibilities. This is how I bond with my kid. It's phone time. And it is what it is. And the TV could have just been awkwardness, or it's something he just loves and he's used to just darting at. And I'm sure there's been times you go out to dinner and there is TV and you don't want to look, but you could be distracted. You know, again, I'm not making excuses, but I'm seeing that it's an honest, casual mistake that I don't think that it's a problem. Yeah, I really don't think it's a problem. I don't like it, but you're going to learn more about his custody situation and how that co-parenting relationship exists. I'm sure that at some point he dropped a hint that he was out with his girlfriend eating pizza, because I'm sure he wants the ex to know that. But he's not into her. I checked. He's not hung up on her and he's not in love with her. He really is, the door really did close. But he is wanting to, well, we'll get into that. Let's go on to the next step. There's an issue here. There's a problem. He is worried that you have not been physical. So if you were physical, and I'm not trying to get into your beeswax, but this is a love reading, and love, you know, smoochies are the glue to a relationship. So it is coming up. So if you were already, and I'm seeing this, then I am very confused. Then I have to investigate, because this is showing me that this person is that you have not. So if you did, okay, you haven't. Okay, I was gonna say, because then this shit is ass backwards crazy. I'm confused. Okay. So yeah, so it's what I'm saying is valid. Not that I was thinking that it wasn't valid. Let me be very clear. I knew that it was 100% accurate, but I was confused on his feelings, is what I'm trying to say. So in other words, I was seeing that his feelings about the physical were aligned with a person upset and confused why it hasn't happened. So if it did happen, then I think that then I think that then he would be nuts, because it wouldn't align with what his feelings are, and then I would start questioning up here with him. You understand? So that's why I'm saying to you, you clarified. So yes, back on the page. All right. So he feels that he's confused why that hasn't happened yet. Now he's a guy, and guys, that's what they want right away. But at the same time, he's also showing you patience. He's supposed to. Don't get me wrong. If you make him wait 6 months or 3 months, that's fine. He better wait, right? That's the chivalry, and that's the gentleman. It's up to you when you're comfortable. But at the same time, you got to realize from a guy's point of view, you know, he didn't just say, "Oh yeah, be my girlfriend," just so that can happen. He's showing you, I'm waiting, I care. Right, I know, which came up in a reading as well. Yeah, I know. I said there was going to be issues with those 2 idiots. I remember you saying it like that. So you got to think this guy's confused because he's saying, "Well, she's my girlfriend, and we don't have that yet." Right. So you understand the confusion in his point of view. You know, not even a kiss. You know, you understand the confusion where he's like, "What's going on?" He's really trying. He's really trying. And if he doesn't know what else to do, because he has told you, he has invited you into his personal space, he has asked you for, he's given you title and commitment, he's vocalized interest, he has given you gifts, he takes you out to different things. Right. And remember that Leo reads Aries not the best. Remember that. The fire signs that are a bit awkward for each other are Leo and Aries. Now, if it's Sag and Aries, it's a little different. It's a lot different, because the Sag will motivate when the Aries motivates. But the Aries is let's do this, and the Leo's more laid back. And when the Leo wants to, the Aries is like, I don't know right now. Right. So that's right. So the silence that you have, which I talked to you about, I said to you that your Scorpio rising might cause a problem for you because you don't say the right things. Remember I told you that? So when you got in the car and he dropped you off, or did you drive separately? And anyways, there would have been some moment of, affection, something that you have to, Okay, so this is the problem of the reading. This entire reading, the problem is, okay, you shouldn't have done that. You should have arranged to go, but it's fine. Anyway, the problem of this reading is he's now very, very concerned because he's yearning for physical, and not in an ugly way, but in a way that it's like, I'm happy with her, I like her, I'm excited, she's my girlfriend now, I want her to be part of my life, I'm showing her me, I'm doing this, can I get a kiss? Like, oh my God, what is going on here? You see? So he's just like, what? I don't understand. And that's what it is. And he can also, believe me, Leo, fire signs, as you know, you're a fire sign. You have your own type of, you know, intuition that it is with elemental type of intuition. There's different kinds, but Leos feel a lot. He can probably feel that you might be into somebody else. He's just not sure. Okay. Now, the next thing is, let's talk about his fears. He's really afraid that he's going to be heartbroken. He really feels that you're just not going to work out for him and you're going to hurt him. So that's what, you know, in an emotional way, like abandoned and not interested is what he feels. All right, let's talk about someone who is, he might have a wealthy relative. He might have someone quite well off, someone comfortable, maybe his father. Maybe his father or an uncle. This is a person that he has spoken to sometimes, gotten some advice sometimes. Okay, and this person shows up in the reading. The influence that you have on him, what you have within your power to do. So this type of reading, the way I designed it is, I look for the problem, I look in the direction that he's going to. Okay, so that's why he's a confidant. And the uncle might say, if she's not giving you any affection, what are you doing? You know, because they have that mentality. A man can't read a woman, not like that. So you might get really weird advice, and get ready for that, because I also talked about family being a wedge with both of you, being an issue from different directions. And the uncle saying, I think you should reevaluate. What are you doing? Because that's his uncle. And his uncle is seeing that he's trying and he doesn't get any love. So that's, again, you were warned, okay? What is within your power to do in this reading is that you should open the door to communication in a brand new way. Hey, answer me. I'm your girlfriend and I want to hear from you. Exclamation mark. And then you can send a kiss emoji. Make it a little bit humorous. Just giving you an idea. I'm not telling you to do it like verbatim. You can say, are you okay? You know, I felt you were disconnected. I thought it was going to be, you know, more romantic, but I realized you were busy, but I was looking forward to, you know, being with you. I was looking forward to going out with you, eating with you. You don't want to say being with you because he'll think, you know, you don't want to say it like that. You're going to say, you know, I miss you. How are you? I want to know you're okay. I was hoping we'd get to know each other even more. I really, I'm happy that you're in my life now. Something nice. And then you can pave the way for him to flirt. And then you flirt back. You got to get that flirtation going like that. You know, and there's a lot of ways to do it very sweet and tasteful. You know, you're hurting your situation if this is the connection that you want. Timing is critical in this situation, okay? What is in with your power? You need to also have him open up about his problems. He is, I like very much, I'm going to tell you right now, tip the hat. I like very much that he does not treat you like you're a therapist or a nurse, like that piece of absolute dog shit idiot back in Austin who treated you like you were a nurse, his mama, okay? I told you to tell him I ain't your mama, and everything he would put on you because he was using you. This man doesn't. I like that. He doesn't sit there telling you stuff. He respects you. He takes you out. He lets you talk. He talks about aviation, but he doesn't tell you his problems. That's romantic. You understand that? I like that. That's a good quality. Because there's nothing wrong with sharing. But I see that as a manly man, quality in a man, that he doesn't just all out, ball out, I'm so weak, oh my God, these are my problems. It's like, shut up. You know, I like that he didn't do that. You see? But you got to get him to share a little bit, because now he's your boyfriend. Now it's different. Now you're gonna entwine with him more. Yeah, I like that. That's respect. That's respect. You need to open that door, because that's romantic. Look at everything you did for all those idiots. But none of them gave you title, and none of them gave you commitment, and none of them gave you the interest or the respect or the love that this one is trying. This one deserves it. The other ones didn't. So just because the other ones seemed like this wonderful, wonderful illusion in the sky, and this one doesn't, he seems different, this one's walking the talk. This is giving you the stuff that you were wishing for. Again, there can be other options in your life. Nobody's saying you have to go down this path, but this is one that has presented itself in the current timing in your life currently. This is what's going on now. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. There's no right or wrong. It's a choice. Sometimes it is something that the person doesn't have a choice, and I'll be like, no, this is like this, you have to go down this path. You're like, I'm seeing it because you're gonna do it anyway. You do have an option. You do have an option, okay? So now let me talk about the I see you and him together. I mean, we already talked about there are things you need to do to solidify it and all of that, which we already talked about that. But I see that a possible outcome, and let me say that again, possible outcome, if you go for it, is a marriage. Now let me tell you something else about this man. He wants to be married. He's the married type. And he wants a family. He might want another kid. Maybe not right away. But in his heart, he would like probably one more kid, and he wants to be married, but he wants to get it right. And he's scared shitless. He is the marrying type. He wants a wife. Yes, very much so. Most Leo men are. There's an old saying that says, Leo men don't know how to be boyfriends. They know how to be husbands. Now, technically, being husbands, they could be a pain in the butt. It takes a certain signs that they're compatible with to bring that into fruition. But, Leo men are one of the best fathers. You will never meet a Leo man be a shitty father. So he's eating pizza with his kid on the phone, he's including his child. And that's okay. You won't see that till later. Then this reading will make sense to you way later when you get to know him. You'll say, oh, I didn't know that back then. Yes. So let's talk about a couple other things. So I do see that you're miserable. Let's be honest. Yeah, you've been miserable before, but this is a different type of miserable. And I see you that you're very miserable. You're very upset. And the situation with the Pisces doesn't help. So this is the reading. This is the reading. Now, you had another question for the other reading. Did you want to do that one tomorrow? Did you want me to layer it on this one? It's up to you. Because you got another one with another question. We can do the other one as a series of questions, or you can wait and get an update, or you can layer it onto this one. We can open up more things. It's up to you. But this is the reading. So yeah, it's real. And the reading, I'm going to go over the critical things. Number 1, you need to open up affection. Number 2, you need to, it's not that you need to, it's just that if this is the path you want, is what I'm saying to you. I don't tell people what to do, you know what I mean? So you would need to open up the affection, open up the tenderness, open up the flirtation, open up soft kisses and connecting. You need all the shit you gave all the other assholes. If you want this one, you gotta snap out of it, okay? And then you also have to open up the door for him to talk to you and for you to bond. So yeah. Okay, I know that. I didn't know it was Shun, but I already know that there was somebody that you didn't want. That's the first thing I looked for. Is anybody else anybody else has come into or trying to come into the picture? I check for stuff like that. I know. What do you want to find out? What do you mean the question is what he wants? Yeah, so just for you to know, when I do readings, FYI, I look for a lot of things that I don't wait for the client to tell me. I won't say anything, but I'll be like, okay. And I just let them, they're going to say what they want or not. I'll be like, okay, I'm checking, I don't know. But yeah, no, but I thought it was someone else. I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know who it was, but I know that it's a pressing matter with this connection, and I was gonna address it later. Okay, so what is when you said that's the question was what he, okay, what he wants. Okay, yeah, no problem. So this next one, am I going to do it in the style I did this one? Or do you want to do a series of questions that take up the 25 minutes? Did you want to do like ask a question, get an answer, ask a question, get an answer, ask a question, get an answer? You want it like that? Or you want one full reading on something that goes into something deep? Because I don't think that's enough for a whole reading. What he wants, you just want to have that answered on the surface. Okay, so you want the whole thing on Shun then? So the entire reading's gonna be on Shun. What he wants and what that's about. Okay. Now, my suggestion, okay. My suggestion is that I'm gonna go ahead and do it that way. But my suggestion is that we tread very carefully on what? What are you saying? Put it together for me. I don't get what you're getting at. You threw me off. Sorry. Because you will what? Even Ryan what? I'm sorry, sweetie. She got 2 readings, so this one is depending on the style. One should be 25 minutes, but sometimes they roll over if it's complicated. Okay, I'm confused. I'm very, very confused. You want a reading on Shun, is what I understood, right? To see what he wants. So I don't think that needs a deep dive, because to see what he wants is just basic, a basic answer. And you have to tread carefully, because if I do this deep style of reading, it's not deep, my deep ones were 48, but it's deep enough. As you could see, I give really good reads for 25. My 48 ones are super, super detailed, but you know what I mean. So I don't think it needs this kind of read, because you got to tread carefully, because Shun can bring up a person that I don't think you want mentioned, if you understand. You don't want to call that energy of you know who in the Shun reading, right? So you got to tread carefully on that topic, unless he's really a romantic interest and you really want it. If he's really, really a romantic interest that you really want, then that you want to pursue, then we will go that route, if that's what you'd like. If he is someone you really want to date, then we will go in deeply. But if you don't, you just want the curiosity of what he wants and why, I don't think we need to do a deep one on that. But I can if you want to. Just realize there could be some foul play there. As far as you said, I was saying, is the suggestion to cut them all off, even R, to focus on E. You're asking me that? That's up to you. The reading, that's up to you. The reading is showing none of them care, and this one does. 2 + 2 is 4. Okay. Let me ask you this before I go into the read, because this will determine which way I go in. Is there any other pressing matter that you have besides that question? Because that will let me know if I'm going to add some layered questions. Okay, no, I get it. No, we will definitely find out. But do you want to have, are there going to be other questions you really, really want? Jacqueline says, let's see. Hi, I know you're in a reading. Just wanted to let you know I sent a text for a read. Oh, a text? Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, I got the text. I don't have the order, sweetie, but I will definitely check. Not a problem. Thank you so much. So let me tell you what I have. I have a reading for, let's see, Jacqueline, and I see it here. Yes, Jacqueline, and then I also, before you, okay, so after Veluxian, I have Dunse, I believe is the name, Dunse, and then it's you. So it'll be a little bit. So what you can do is you can go do your stuff, and I can text you when it's time. But then again, I don't want to bother you if you're going to be busy, because this one is about 25 minutes. The other one is going to be about 25-30 minutes, depending on the complexity of her situation. And yours is around 25 to 30 minutes, you know, like that. Okay, just to let you know. And then my readings are closed for the day. I usually end at 4, but you know, sometimes I roll over. All right, sweetheart. And that way you're not waiting and waiting and waiting. All right, I'll send you a text if I miss you. And because I usually work till 4, it's 3:29. So you can tell I'm going to be over. But if I text you and you're not available, don't worry about it. I'll be available the next day. I'm not going anywhere. I stream 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in and out, on TikTok and YouTube. So, and you can always arrange with me the next day. So it's not the end of the world. That's all. Because you could be busy. And I have a short window that I'm available, to wait because of appointments and things that come in. That's all. Okay, no worries, no worries. But that way you're not waiting and waiting. I will send you a text and saying, hey, I'm ready for you. And there's about a 5-minute window. If I don't hear a response, you'll be first tomorrow. So it's not a big deal. I'll get to your reading. Thank you, by the way. I'm so sorry, Felix. I didn't mean to interrupt your reading. So let's see. So this is going to determine whether I do a reading just on Shun, because there could be a story there and you want your curiosity to end. You want to know the answers. We could do it that way, and I'll tread carefully with the topic. Or if you want other questions asked. Is there something about the Scorpio? Is there something about Ryan? Is there something about somebody else? What is your, like what other questions do you have? That way that's going to let me know what reading number 2 is all about. That's gonna clarify for me what to do as far as reading style. So we're either gonna go with just Shun, or we're gonna go with multi-layered questions. Okay, so we're gonna do multi-layered questions, not a problem. All right, let me go ahead and set the timer because I do it like that with this kind of stuff. All right, because if it's one deep thing, okay. Oh, so you don't want those questions. You just want Shun. Oh, okay. Not a problem. So we're just gonna do it on Shun then, nobody else. Correct? Because once I go lay it down, I can't take it back. Okay, so this is just on Shun, right? Just verifying. Okay, just on Shun. Okay. Yep, you might feel there's a deep story there, so let's find out. All right. Oh, what am I doing? Ah. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I forgot to put on a little music. Sorry. Sorry about that, it's so quiet. All right, let me find it out. Okay. I'm not going to read on it. If you want, I will give you a refund. Okay? Unless you want to take other questions, but I'm not touching it. I'm not touching the reading. You know why. I don't have to say it. You know why. Don't say it. Don't say it. Just understand. Yeah, okay. All right, that's fine. Let's go for it. Like right there. Right there. So just, nope. Let it be. All right, let's see. You know, to avoid other removals and crap, okay? So it's the smart way. All right, so there we go. Yeah. Entertaining anything in that direction brings with it, it may have already. So if you exchanged communication with that connection, it may have already. So remember that the warning for you is it's going to open a situation again where you're going to need one of those, you know? Okay. I suggest you do what you want, but I suggest that you do not entertain toxic doors that open for you to have to go through another removal. I suggest you leave it alone. Okay? Just saying. You seem all right now, but I don't know because those things surface. It did show up, you know. No. You will know. You will know. It's okay. Do you know how computer viruses work, more or less? No, I'm not joking. I'm being serious. You know how like the infiltration is not always felt immediate. It takes a while for it to surface. Just like when someone gets sick. Let's use the human body. You know how someone like they like if a person gets the flu, they don't know it right away. Sometimes the person knows, but usually they don't. It takes a couple days, maybe like 5 days, whatever, the incubation period or whatever, so that they're like, oh my God, now the symptoms are coming. Okay, so hexes work the same way. I mean, it depends, you know, the level of like what type of magic, the level of skill of the practitioner, who they're working with, blah, 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 blah. But generally, it's a formula. You already know the formula. So what would you know if that did occur? What would you understand right away? What would happen? You know the things, you've been there before with, right? You would know what would. Yeah, but you can't open that door because I know, but you did open the door because you spoke to someone who you knew was not good. Yeah. So that means that I cannot answer and nobody can answer if that happened or not. It hasn't been enough time. So you have to go live your life, and when you see the signs, then you know. If you don't see the signs, then that's fine. I suggest you follow what I told you ages ago. Cut the connection to the toxic crap. I told you. Don't feed any of that. We had a conversation about accounts and starting over and blah, blah, blah. You know? You know what I'm saying? Hey, how are you? On TikTok, I wanted to do this thing where some of the folks that I read for that are foreigners, like you know, outside the U.S., is a good way to listen to their voice and stuff. I wanted to talk about astrology with you on the stream. So I wanted to hear your voice, and there was a feature that I wanted to do where I invite you as a guest, and I thought it would be so much fun for, like, 10 minutes, 15 minutes or something fun like that, talk about astrology. But I haven't had a time. I'm so sorry, sweetie. Right now I'm in the middle of a deep paid read, so I never ignore anybody, but I'm so into it. And then I have another client and then another client. So I'm going to be so into the reads, I may not have time to chit chat, but I just wanted to let you know. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about fun stuff like astrology and what you're doing with art. Okay, so let's see. But nice to see you anyway. All right, so we had this conversation. I said to you, of Alexia, and I said, okay, what are you going to do now? Close this, shut that. Don't do this anymore. Brand new start. Stop. That's what I said to you. I said it. So I'm just saying, you can't entertain that because, oof, no. Okay, now, on to the next thing. So let's go ahead and get this reading done, right? And we're going to get into the questions. So fire off the things you want to know, because you can ask about lots of other things. Work, you can ask about, thank you, you too. You are amazing too. I can't believe you learned so fast. That's insane. That's awesome. Okay. So it can be about people at work, different coworkers, different things, whatever you feel you need to, or you can save it. You can save the read, but you can do it now too if you're very curious. It's up to you. So let me ask you something. Valexian, let me ask you something. Your reading that you're doing, hang on. Your reading that you're doing on this, there's 4 people signed on. So Valexian, Beatrice, who are the other 2? This doesn't show me. On TikTok it does. So let me ask you something. Do you have a scenario where readings, Sean can see the readings you're getting and sign in and see what you're doing? Valexian? Can he see I don't know what your activities are, but can he see where you're at? Okay. Okay. Just, okay. Not a problem. All right. So let's get started. So what question do you have, sweetheart? What are the different ones? Like anything you're curious about? Anybody in particular? Remember your reading that you got without saying too much, but the cowrie? Remember that Y? Remember that letter Y said to you that you always have to be careful with female friends? So I know you were saying friend. It's okay to have a friend, which is like an acquaintance. It's healthy to have acquaintances. But if you're asking for like a BFF level, you already know the answer to that. But I think you mean it like, like an acquaintance friend, like, yeah. Yeah, I understand. Hopefully that's what you mean. Because if it's something deep and you start telling her all your deep things, sweetie, you're barking up the wrong tree. Okay? Give me 1 second here. Okay. All right, so I see that when it comes to Sarah, right? You're asking Sarah. I would say it's more business than anything. That's her priority. Yeah, you could be liked. It can be amicable, but here's what the energy is telling me on Sarah. Number one, she has to make a decision soon. She's pressed. And has a pressure on her to make a decision soon. Maybe it's firing someone, maybe it's, putting someone on a new assignment, maybe it's whether she's going to take on a second job or a second responsibility, whatever. It also talks about her having a difficulty balancing something as well. So she's in a change. Remember, we are between eclipses. Okay? When a lunar eclipse ends and the solar eclipse occurs after, that's called between eclipses, or vice versa. This causes change. Everybody has some level of change because of the eclipses. So obviously, some signs are going to have it extremely strong, and it depends on your actual chart and everything. But you having a Cancer placement means there's a more direct change for you, because that's your moon. So remember that the nodes of the moon are very, they travel with lunar energy, and your moon is ruled by Cancer. So there's going to be a change. It depends on the house and everything else and a lot of other things. But yeah, everybody has somewhat of some kind of change. It's either going to be in love, career, a choice, whatever. So she is balancing something. She is about to have some kind of change in her work. This also talks about her looking at you in a way that you seem very friendly. So in other words, what I mean by that is when your vibe is very sweet, like happy, like bubbly, happy, laughing, happy to be around. You're not like this, like, what? You're just like, hi, how are you? So there's a very uppity feeling, bubbly feeling. That's how she sees you, and she likes that. But this also talks about a change coming in where she tries to impress a male before she prioritizes the friend. So what does that mean? Let's say that she treats her staff or her team or her coworkers or whatever with a lot of joy. All of a sudden there's going to be somebody that she has to deal with where the way that they look at what she's doing, or maybe they don't like certain people, and she's all about, well, if he doesn't like this, then I'm not going to do it. So in other words, her loyalty is to a man's opinion. It could be her boss, it can be a boyfriend, it can be whatever. So this is saying to you, very simple, is she a true deep friend? No. Does she, are things happy, neutral? Yeah. But don't bank on it too much. It's fickle. So this is someone that you would just say hi and bye to, deal with on a professional level for just your basics. But investing a lot of, you should still do a lot of investing of friendliness at your job, whether they like you or not, whether you like them or not, because it's your work environment. You want to be very public relations, very PR, very, very good with people, keep it fluffy, right? And that's a good thing. But know that this person may change in character with you, like be more dry or something, and it's because of, you know, pleasing the person that she follows. So that's the answer. But yeah, pretty much right now it's good. It's good. You always tell everyone what? All right, the next question is on who, sweetheart? We have 22 minutes, so that's plenty of time for all the questions you have. Let me know. Who's next? Okay, so there again, there's going to be something that disrupts that. So if you're hanging around her a lot, you know, and it's friendly, that's great. But there's a male that comes in, you know, since it could be that the Leo, with the Leo and all of that, it could be also the other way around, because it's you and a person. So the energy becomes crossed. So you're asking how this person feels about you, and I'm saying the way that I asked it, because it's one of those direct answers, I'm seeing there's a change. She could also, if you're close to her, you got to think, you know, if you're hanging around her in your house and or her house or whatever on the weekends, like friends, and I see the answer come in saying, you know, there's a change and there's a male and, you know, all of that. She can also be looking at your life and saying, oh, well, she was my friend and she was single and great, and now she's got this commitment. This is different now. So either way, then it would be the other way. It would be the same reading, same answer, but you would be the one that would cause the change. So maybe you're the one that would be, you know, getting closer to the Leo and then cause the friendship distance. So either way, that's why I'm saying, let me tell you something so you learn this about me and anybody else listening or whatever. When I ask a question, whether it's with a crystal ball, with stones, bones, who cares, right? Or no tools at all, or however it is that I'm doing a reading. When a person asks me a question, I always give an answer that is the answer that I'm getting. Do I change it because they change the question? No. A lot of people will play with the question. They'll toy with words. They'll hide information. Not you, but I'm saying there could be a misunderstanding. There could be, at the end of the day, it's still the answer. So you're asking, so I am loyal to the energy of who they're asking. If, you know what I mean? Like, for example, if a person asks me a question, does so-and-so love me? And they just did a love spell on the person. Magic changes things. It's manipulation. Sometimes it's good, but most of the time people use it manipulatively. In your case, it would be different because he's your boyfriend, but, and you would have to know the scenario. People listening might be like, oh my God, no, it's all bad. No, shut the fuck up. You don't know what I'm saying. It's tailor-made, but generally when people do that and then they ask, oh, does he love me? Well, you just did a spell on the freaking guy. Like, obviously I'm gonna see in the answer he's coming in to give you smoochies and presents. Yeah, that was the spell, not him, you know. So you see, people, you know, I never pay attention. So let's go back to the question. You're asking about Sarah. I don't really care the scenario. I don't care if you go bowling. I don't care if you bake cookies. I don't care. What's the answer? Let's go over it. Is she a friend? That's all I care about. Sarah, friend, true. Okay, I see that there's a choice that's being made with work. I see that the person is trying to balance two things. Okay, if you're about to make a job change, then this is worrying her because you're going to leave where she's at. If she's a friend, she's going to care. If she's your boss and you don't hang around each other, then it's something maybe she's doing. Okay. Then there's a man showing up, and there's a happiness that's attached, but at the same time, it can be that she sees you with the Leo. So if you're hanging around her very, very close, then she's picking up on the changes in your life. And that's when girlfriends have a gap, because if she's with a new man or she's making job changes, this forms a gap in the connection of the girlfriend closeness. But if you're not hanging out like girlfriends and it's just a work relation, then it